This needs to go back in the oven, but I'm not putting it back just yet. Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Yeah. Good evening. Whatever your time zone is, just greeting you in that time of your time zone. Yeah. This evening I'm gonna be doing some chicken lollipops. Actually, I had planned on doing this for my Sunday's meal. However, I went out after church and then I ate already. So, however, because I had this out of the freezer overnight, so it's thawed and I don't want to refreeze it or anything, or I don't want to keep it for longer either without it being processed. So I'm gonna do just prepping it up for some chicken lollipops. What's gonna happen, I'm just gonna process it and put them to marinate, and then I will cook this maybe tomorrow, not maybe, tomorrow, definitely, on another live. So yeah, I'm going right into it. I already had my chicken washed and cleaned, as you can notice. Well, because I want to avoid the conversation of not cleaning your chicken or whatever, because in my opinion, I think they should be cleaned, because a lot of times you take these things out of the packs and they still have little feathers, little fats where they're not supposed to be, and depends on how long they've been frozen for or whatever. They can be a little, have a little slimy texture. Feel on it too. So if you don't get that rinsed off, then your chicken really have this little funky, foley taste that, I don't really appreciate, or most of us as black people, we tend to wash our chicken because we know how it tastes, how different it tastes if it's not cleaned properly. All right, so I'm gonna go right into this, and I have my knives here. I'm just gonna prep this up. I already have my seasonings already out, because I don't want to be handling my jars with my chicken hands afterwards. So yeah. And then I'm not going in with the gloves either, because for what I want to do right now, I'd rather work with my bare hands in this, and then wash my hands afterwards. Okay, so let me get right into it, because my plan was to go for my evening hike as I normally do, and I got in and I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to prep these chicken up before I lose them. Because I'm not gonna refreeze them, and I don't want to keep them being thawed for more than overnight. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is just take this much off the leg, or the, what do you call them? The drum is. And yeah, I'm gonna give it a clean off the top of that. You can go skinless too. Yeah, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna take off the top. There, you don't want to go too far down. And what I'm using here is a boning knife. It's much more convenient than your regular knife. So this type of chicken though is done mostly if you have like a party or some, you know, formal event. So it's not mainly, I don't see us doing your regular, you know, cooking of your chicken and you going into this process, but it's good to know how to do these little things fancy. So you go up there and then you go under the knuckle and you get that off. Put that right in the joint there. I want a knife if you want to sharpen. Yeah, so if you go in properly, then you shouldn't have a problem with the joint or anything. It's not like you're jointing it, you're taking off that little white part of the joint of the chicken off. And I can just hear other people would be saying, why would I want to go through all that? But yeah, if you have little events and stuff like that, you want to maybe impress your friends. This chicken has a little more than I think I'm going to take the skin off. Like I said before, you don't have to, because you're going in with this, and then under here you want to have the chicken kind of freed up, so when you're done and fry it up, or whether you want to bake it or whatever you want to do, then it kind of stands up on the plate, right? So then you go under, go straight up under the bone here, and you're not cutting it off the bone. What you're doing, you're just releasing this so it has a flap, so it flaps down. At the same time, you clean the bone off as much as possible, because like for party events, most people, like when they pick this up, you know, they want a clean thing to hold on, and normally would put like a little thing on the end of the tip of the bone, so it's just easy to pick up. So I'm getting rid of that little straight bone that is in the middle of it as well. And so that's that. And it comes right down like that. So when you're cooking it, and it comes over, right, so this is it. Throw that back in. Not to worry, I'm not going to be wasting all of this. I'm just going to put this up, so when you're making like your chicken soup or whatever, then I'm going to do some of them boneless, skinless, and some with the skin on. You want to keep the skin on sometimes just for making sure that your chicken is retaining more of the juices. Because people tend to say take the skin off because it is fat, but the skin protects it too from drying out, so you don't want a dry chicken. So after you cook your chicken, you want to have it nice and juicy. And the aim is to get this as cleaned off as possible. We're living in a time now where most of these things are done ahead of time, but so you can go into the stores and you can get most of your stuff already pre-done. I don't think you will find it being done like this anyway, but whenever that happens, and you gotta pay more for it, and what you're paying for is the processing. Paying for the processing fee. So right, like I said, to do the knife under the bone, and it releases the chicken a little bit, and then you just roll it down. And if you ever, when you eat the chicken leg or so, when you eat a chicken drum, you notice it has this little fine bone along with the main bone, then you get rid of that small one in this process as well. And as more often you do this, then it becomes easier. So this is it right now. And not to worry, I don't have chicken water draining anywhere in my kitchen. It's already drained, washed and drained, and they're just there. And as I'm processing this right now, I don't have any juice flying all over my counter. times way back when, you know, people would be more concerned about raw pork. Now people are freaking out about raw chicken. From my food safe knowledge, I can understand some of it, but it's just that some persons are lazy and they don't handle things the proper way they're supposed to. Some persons are lazy, and some are, and I'd equate it to sloppiness too. When you just wanna be handling your meat, but you just wanna handle it and not being careful as to where the juice is, where the water is being splashing, or anything like that. Yeah, so when you about taking the skin off, you could do that first before you even cut the knuckle off, which is easier in a sense, so you get that off in one motion with the knuckle. So we're living in a time now where a lot of us, for skill, you know, you're getting replaced by all kind of other little things, but it's good to know how some of these things are done in case you need to do it yourself at some point. Everybody's on live at this time. Yeah, I tend to just go push this in. Right there, you got it. Alright, so that's that. So, taking the skin off first, you can go like that. And then I'm gonna have a couple that I'm not gonna take the skin off. So when I cook them, you can see the difference. So you pull the skin down, roll this back down to the end like that, and let's go off here. And then you're not losing anything of the chicken leg per se, as other than the knuckle, which some persons eat and some persons don't. And some persons would wonder why you wouldn't just chop this off, but what is going to happen is that when in the cooking process, the blood is going to come out through the bone, so you don't want to cut the bone per se. So the blood comes out when it is cooking, and it might spoil the actual presentation of the chicken. So you keep it like that. The knife goes underneath. So repeated motion of what I have already demonstrated. And roll it down. Get rid of the tiny bone and scrape this down as much as possible. Yeah, so by doing it like this, and the bone is as clean as possible. So when you have to pick it up at a party, then you pretty much, or whatever function you serve this on, then you know you don't have to worry. You're not making a mess of your hand per se. Skin off. Roll it all the way down to the knuckle. And go around it with a nice little cut. The bone will be there as guide, so you won't be cutting through anything other than just a little part of the top of the drummy. And as you come on, the question is, I'd love to have answered on here is what kind of contents are you guys mostly interested in seeing on here? Just so I know where to go in terms of what I'm creating. If you drop that in the comment, then I'll be happy, and I'll pretty much take those suggestions into consideration. boning knife has not been used for quite a while. It seems as if it's getting really dull, so my disclaimer: if you're a vegetarian, then feel free to scroll by. And if you're kind of like one of those that freaks out about the handling of raw chicken, then it's okay for you to scroll by as well. But I'm pretty much, I can tell you, from what I'm doing here, I'm handling this as safe as I know how to. It's just food, and I know persons are concerned about their food being handled with their hands. But if you look at my nails, they're nice and short, and they're clean. And I've already washed my hand before coming on. I've washed it after washing and cleaning up the chicken. But yeah, I will wash it again as soon as I finish processing this, so that I can handle the spices. So for these ones, I'm not going to take the skin off. This is just like when you go to a formal function, when you have like the rack of lamb on there, and they go through a process where they clean off a part of the bone, you know, to make the presentation better. So this is a butcher's job. Well, that's the thing with cooking. Cooking takes in a lot of different thing there in it. Is if you cook, then you carve, then you bake, then you yeah, so it takes in a lot if you're gonna take cooking seriously. So for those who tend to look at a cooking career and tend to think there's nothing much to it, and there's quite a lot to it. It's just that lately now persons would rather step into a store and or a restaurant, go into a supermarket, and they pick up a sandwich that is already done. They don't care how it was done. They just pick it up and they're gone. right? And then if they go to a restaurant, they have the same kind of a mentality that, you know, food takes 15 minutes. But good food takes a while to prepare. And yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it. But even the sandwiches that you're picking up in the stores, depends on what their sandwich filling is. There you go. Then, unless it's deli meat, then it would still take a while to roast beef. If they're doing a roast beef sandwich, it still take a while to do all those other little things. But we're coming away from, you know, where people want to have quality food done. They just want something quick and fast. Quick and easy and fast. If somebody says, why should they prepare a meal 2 hours to eat it, sit and eat it in 10 minutes. But it depends on how how we look at it, you know. Because if you want something with well-developed flavor and properly cooked, and it's not like some bacon or some other deli meat or those kind of things, it does take a while. Or a burger. A burger is the only thing you can get in 15 minutes. That is cooked from the time you order it to the time you get it at the table. Every other thing else does take much more than that, which you don't get to see that as the customer. But those of us who work in the back, we know the process we have to go through to get these things out, to have them on hand, to get them to the table in 15 minutes, which, like I said, most persons wouldn't understand unless they're behind the scene. But yeah, quite a bit goes on. Because most time we cook your rice, we cook your potatoes, we cook all those kind of things. They are cooked and ready to go. So by the time you get into the restaurant and order it, all we're doing is heating it up. And so if you're not a cook, then you're of the impression that, wow, you can cook potato in 15 minutes. No, you don't cook anything other than, like I said, your burger or your steak. And depends on the doneness of the steak too. It's gonna take much more than 15 minutes to cook that. Your rice and potatoes cooks the fastest, and no less than 20 minutes to have that cooked. And that's if you're not even starting from cold water, because if you're starting from cold water, then it does take more than 20 minutes. like I said, this is just a repeated motion. And I'm gonna stop right here. Okay, so you're gonna make sure the knife doesn't go through the end part of the chicken drumstick. And yeah, you could actually hold it to the bottom, push it through, and yeah, and pull this down, and then that's it. Get the little fine bone out. Give this a scrape down. Right. Okay, so that's that. I'm gonna move this over. I can put that away when I'm done. Alright, I'm gonna get my hands clean. I'm not really done yet. My hands are clean. I'm washing it with salt and water. And then back to my chicken drumlings. I left at least 3 of them that I'm not gonna process, that I'm gonna marinate them anyways in there. But this was mainly to show you how I do the other ones. So yeah, so for my marinade, I'm going in with, this is a half of onion, a stalk of green onion as well, 1 garlic, 2 garlic cloves actually, and some thyme, and just a teaspoon of vinegar, and the rest is water. Yeah, so that's that. For powdered seasoning, I have here some chicken seasoning, some sage, that's a teaspoon of sage, a tablespoon of chicken seasoning, and just another a teaspoon of Cajun, and a tablespoon of my combination seasoning, and then I have some all-purpose here, some cracked peppers, and for that I'm gonna be adding maybe just a teaspoon of salt, because most of these already have salt in there. And then my plate is on the other side of the sink, not the side with the raw chicken. And then I'm going in with a 2 teaspoons of soy, and that's the remainder of my Worcestershire, which is less than a teaspoon. Yep, I'm going in. Normally I have to get a little bit of vinegar in, so it's going in with a teaspoon. That, and a teaspoon of salt. So if you observe from the video, you notice that my hands haven't touched the chicken since I washed it. And now that I've already add all the seasonings, I'm gonna go in with my bare hands again, and I'm gonna give it a massage. And voila, this is gonna sit overnight into this, and then tomorrow I'll come back and cook this off so you can see how it is done. Actually, I'm gonna fry some, and I probably bake some off so we can see how different we can present them. Alright, that's that. I give my hand a wash again. Salt is on the finish. For this one, you're gonna make sure that when you're handling your raw chicken, then your chicken is not all over the edge of your container, right? So as much as possible, it is still safe to pick up with your bare hands after you washed your hands. So I'm going to be covering that off. I'm going to be putting it away in my fridge, covered, and it's going to sit overnight to marinate. It could be less time, but because like I said, I've already had food over in the evening, so now I don't need to be cooking this right now. So I'll just make another live tomorrow so you can see how this is done. Okay, so that's that, and I'm gonna be cleaning up my kitchen, cleaning up my board with some bleach up here, and get my sink washed with my soap and water and bleach. So okay then, bye for now, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.